I'm really tired today. Welcome. I'm David Robles. I'm a founding DM over at Streaming Rainbow, and this is a Fathoms interlude. Elliot, the last things you heard in the Pyrenees was the sound of a propeller plane as you were in and out of consciousness on the verge of succumbing to your wounds. Uh, Elliot, uh, the last your last images in the Pyrenees mountains are hazy. They, as you were in and out of consciousness, nearly succumbing to the wounds you suffered, liberating the refugees and those who were captured at and being uh, experimented on and held in that Nazi research facility. And the one of the last things you got to see was your best friend in the world reunited with her children, and uh, with that thought, and with the feeling that you did right by Charlie, you got the revenge you deserve. You go, um, you slip into unconsciousness as that propeller plane touches down um, at a small man-made airfield nearby. The Nazis had built was in under construction in order to more quickly get supplies to this remote location. And with those thoughts, with that feeling of accomplishment, Elliot slips into unconsciousness, maybe hoping he doesn't come out. At
A
least
little bit.
satisfied if he doesn't.
Yeah.
Um, and as you fall into that unconsciousness, as if you were stepping into a pool that was body temperature, and each passing second is like a step into this deeper, dense, warm water. And as you begin to feel weightlessness and begin to feel floating as you venture out into that darkness. Where do you think Elliot goes?
I think Elliot's. I think Elliot really has Charlie on his mind a lot, knowing that he finally faced, like, not just the man that fired the bullets into him, but probably the man who called the shot. And I think maybe not the first time in his life, but for the first time in a very long time, he feels proud knowing that he did the right thing, even if it meant taking the lives of other people. He got his justice, and he got what he was looking for in the Pyrenees.
Yeah, and so I think as you're floating in this darkness, and as you feel as you're about to float away, you feel a grip on your hand, and as you instinctually turn towards the feel of that, um, you are blinded by sunlight. And you end up, you find yourself at UPenn. It is, it is just the beginning of the summer term, so there's very few people around. A lot of the professors are finishing up grades and reports and research due by the end of semesters. And the feeling that you felt as you were being pulled into this room was Charlie pulling you into his office. And just as your light adjusts to the eyes, before you can realize what's happening, his mouth is on yours.
I'm like passionately kissing him back, knowing that like I can feel, like I recognize this feeling. I know who, like I know the person's touch. I know like deep in my heart that like I'm in front of him. And the only other thing that I can feel is like the white hot like tears like pouring down my cheeks.
Elliot, as he kind of separates from you, a little flushed, not quite expecting the passion that was there. Oh, what? I know finals are stressful. I know finals are stressful, but wait, what's wrong?
It's just, it's really good to see you. It's really good to have this.
He looks at you a little confused. He says, yeah. Yeah. I'm glad those, I thought you might be, getting cold feet about the move.
No, I'm really excited for Old City. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Everything this summer is going to be perfect.
Yeah, and the dean and the president know, and they're going to cover, and everything will be fine.
Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah. Everything's going to be fine. And as you sit with that thought, you are woken up by the sound of a PA system. You wake up, and it's December 7th, 1941. Franklin Delano Roosevelt is giving an address to the nation. You wake up in in one of those, like, if you've ever seen those, like, World War II through like Vietnam era movies, kind of like the one that Forrest Gump does his recovery in, those like big bay style. It's just a much smaller version. There's only maybe probably 10 beds, 5 across from each other. Big high ceilings with those, those big open windows. It feels muggy. It feels like you're in a different world. To go from the cold of blood loss and wintry mountaintops to that weightlessness to this is a pretty jarring. You wake up in this room. It's one of those old military field hospital style rooms where it's the bare beds, metal frames, stark white sheets. There's about Yeah, like I said, there's about 10 beds, 5 across for each other. It's a very small facility. You don't think you're in like a big military base. It has those big windows up top. Um, and it feels muggy. It feels gross. You went from the, icy cold of wintry mountaintops to that weightless feeling to now. And even though it's been about 2 weeks, to you it's just a moment, right? And as you hear FDR continue, um, you I'm going to give you uh, your first roll. So, um, Elliot has been Elliot a has been in and out, has been in this hospital for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The There's been people in and out. There's been people all around, and you've been like many people in this situation have also been in and out of consciousness. I'm gonna set an incredibly high DC,
Mm-hmm.
and you. This is to remember anything. Um.
Oh boy.
So, uh, to get absolutely everything important, and the
Yeah.
most you can get, you need to roll a 30.
Okay.
You'll get most of the good stuff after about 15 or 20.
Mm-hmm.
And or 15 is the first threshold, I should say, sorry. And then 20 is the second threshold. But
Gotcha.
to get the real all the good stuff is 30.
Mm-hmm. And what am I rolling for?
So, I feel like this is a why did you do that? This is a wisdom. I would go. I would accept. I would accept. Intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, I would say it's intelligence, and I would accept wisdom.
All
But
right. So
it's a +3 if you go with wisdom.
I'm gonna go with intelligence
I mean, the
anyway because
DC
I get
goes
the.
up, is what I was saying.
Oh.
If you go wisdom,
Then I'm going intelligence.
better call with
Um.
your sheet.
Much better call with my sheet. So
How
many
many
dice.
how many shifts do you have in intelligence?
I have 4.
So you're going to be rolling 4d4, and then
Mm-hmm.
please tell the audience what how many of your pool of die you're going to use each.
Oh boy. So the 4d4. I'm going 2 of my d6, 2 of my d8, 1 d10, and 1 d12. I was contemplating adding the d20. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I like my odds. Okay. All right. I'm already at a 20,
Okay.
25. Oh yeah, I obliterated this DC. Fuck, that was
Perfect.
too many dice.
It's all good. Happens. Um okay, this is what you see. Um you you remember being brought in, and like flashes, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
heard you heard Brock Canton, and this is in Portugal, uh,
Mm.
and he's like, "What? Where are his belongings? Where are Dr. Fowler's belongings? What did he have anything else on him?" And it looks like some sort of like nurse is like, it's the usual process. It's in holding. There's everything's being held down there, and he storms right out the door. Um, you don't know how many days it is, but you are now in a like a private room. Um, looks like a probably post op or something. A few days, and there's a doctor arguing with Brock Canton, and he's like, "Look, Doc, I don't care what it'll do to his heart. Juice this man up till he can wake up. So, because he's got it, I need to speak with this man. Every day that we lose more of the trail of what we needed, and Mrs. Montague has been anything but helpful, and the little witch girl is lost in the woods. So that motherfucker right there is the only person that can give me the answers I want. And are you telling me right now that you're going to stand in our way?" And you see this doctor sort of cower, and you didn't even notice until this point, but he like kind of looks over, and there's a woman there, and she says, "Brock, but if he wakes up and then has a heart attack or he doesn't remember, then what good is it anyways?" Um, and he goes, he like kind of snaps at this woman. He's like, "Shut up, Genevieve. Give me a second." And he storms out of the room, and then the memory kind of fades. Um, and the last memory you have is of just maybe a couple of days ago. Useless to the end, huh, Fowler? That's it. That's what you remember. Um, okay. You wake up. You see a nurse's station. But there's a nurse. There's just one nurse and one orderly, and they are staring at the radio as they listen to. Even though it's been played on the PA, it's they're just kind of huddled together in this moment, in shock.
Mm-hmm.
So what does Elliot want to do? It's probably
I
like a
think
30 by 50-ish room, so
yeah,
they're way down the ways.
yeah. I want to get out of the bed, obviously. And I think Elliot's first instinct, knowing that he knows Brock Canton is somewhere on these grounds, he wants to try to find that asshole.
Okay. Um. Okay. I'm gonna need a. You can actually. I'll do it this way because this is what we want to do. What skill do you want to use, and how do you get past them?
That's a really good question. I think he could, knowing that everyone's kind of distracted and hyper fixated on the news, I think he could reasonably stand a chance to stealth his way around the facilities.
So using a dex? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, then give me so there's gonna be the first check to get past, because the nurse's station is right by the door, and even though they're sort of huddled and faced away, we'll give that like you have 1d4 in dex, right?
Yes.
We'll make that we'll make it a 6.
Okay.
Make that a 6.
Then I'm gonna burn up a d6. That's a 6 on the dot.
Love it. Okay, you get out. There's a hallway. There's doors sort of sporadically along the ways. There's a hallway out, and then it comes to a T intersection. And then it looks like there are offices sort of sporadically throughout, or maybe other doorways to other hallways or whatever, right? Going one way and down the other way as well. And probably equidistant, it looks like there's a stairwell all the way at the end on your left, and on the right it looks like 2 just like the medical doors.
Okay.
I'll just give it to you, actually. You've spent enough time. You recognize this as either some sort of medical or research style, like it's a clearly like a clean door style thing. Which way does Elliot go?
I think Elliot's gonna go left. I think he's going towards the stairwell.
Gonna go left? Okay. Yeah, you go left towards the stairwell, and you head up the stairs, and here's actually where there's and as you walked past these doors, you did see that they were there's like a conference room, and there's a lunch room, and there's all these other there's like a bullpen area where it looks like a bunch of legal secretaries typically are working, and but instead, again, everybody's there's no sounds of typing, there's no ticker tape, it's just stunned silence and the sound of FDR's voice. And so as you continue up, as you walk past, just give me a DC for stealth check to make sure you don't fall, or you could also go with con if you want. I think this is essentially just making sure you don't eat shit on your way up the stairs.
I only have 2
Muscles
D6
are pretty
left. I know. I'm burning another D6. This is why resource management is important, kids. 9.
You cut out.
Oh, I got a 9.
You got a 9?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, you get up perfectly fine. You head up, same thing now. You see this area is like much more wide and broad. It has this it has a logo, like one of those big government agency rugs, if you've ever walked into like a federal building, right? They have the like insignia of whatever organization it is, right? And so there's that, and then there's a front desk-ish on the other end, actually. And this looks like it's like the executive suite.
Okay.
And you chose the right way, because on the just to like around the corner is Brock Canton's office. You see him through the blinds that are at an angle as you peek around the corner, sitting in his office. He's got shit all on his desk, looking at listening. Looks like he's intently listening.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm walking right in.
What the fuck?
And I'm making a point and slamming the door behind me.
Okay, so you slam and lock the door behind you. Elliot, you're awake. And he like goes to grab the phone. Are you okay? Because what he sees is a gaunt, emaciated,
even skinnier than he was before,
small bearded.
Yep.
Yes, with a trickle of blood rolling down his left arm where the IV was removed.
What the fuck was your intention with those books? And why did you send me on a death mission to retrieve them for you?
Look, Elliot, sit down. Sit down. Let me call Genevieve. Bring you some water.
We're settling this like men, Brock.
Questions.
Don't bring anyone else in this fucking bullshit.
And
what
Brock
was your intention?
Had the phone in his hand. Brock has the phone in his hand, and he had just spun to dial. And you say, let's settle this like men. And he lets go of the dial, and you hear the return back to 0. He places the phone down. Goes behind his desk. He presses a button. And a steel cage drops around the window of his office. "45 years it took you to be a man, Elliot. I'm honored you chose my fucking office as the spot to start. Look. He looks up at you. And he says, look, Elliot. There's not a fucking easy way to say this. There's no easy way to say this. After Sophia, the VP's been fractured, you know that. And William Donovan, in all his wisdom, as the head of American VP, has made very clear that we are going to return to the roots of shepherding and protection, yada yada. The problem with that, Elliot, is that the other side has no desire to abide by that. The other side is not abiding by that. And so we're going into a war a conflict now that was always inevitable. And we're going into that gunfight with our arms tied behind our backs. Because Hitler's out there collecting more of these books, more of these creatures, and we got good intelligence that they are coming farther and farther along in understanding what the fuck it is you unleashed on the Sophia. Oh yeah, Elliot. We know. That's why I sent you. That's why it had to be you. You were sent on a death mission because you weren't supposed to come back. You're supposed to turn in whatever the fuck ate everything up on the Sophia or whatever the fuck happened. Take a bunch of Nazis out on the way with you. But you couldn't even fucking do that right, could you?
Hey, newsflash, idiot. That's not how this fucking magic shit works.
I have it on great authority that is exactly how it works.
That's not how any of this fucking shit works, Brock.
He's reaching into his desk and he throws a file across it at you. And the photos kind of slide open. And what you see is Captain Reed's grimoire.
Mm-hmm.
Something you saw 20 years ago on his desk. Didn't think about it then. Just kind of thought it's a weird old book on a sailor ship, right? Makes sense. But it's pages. It looks like they're like some sort of photographs or something of these. And as you give your explanation of that's not how any of this shit works, as you're looking at, or after you say that and you're looking at these photos, what you, or you can give me a notice if you want, but I don't want you to burn up any die if you don't want to. Because
Would that be intelligence?
Wisdom.
What would the DC be?
Just a 4. Oh, we'll call it a 3.
Then I'll just do my D4s.
Yeah.
That's a 5.
Cool. He pulls out a big ass gun.
Awesome.
With you said you got a 5 on a 3?
Yep.
It's got some ornation on it. See, before William Donovan took over USVP, before he became the Grand Shepherd, it's Captain Reed. But there's been one guy, and if you would have stuck around and weren't such a fucking pussy in college, you might have known that there's one silent power in the VP for longer than Reed, longer than Donovan. I don't know how much longer he's got, but Elias Winsborough happens to know that you can do this. Because he's the one who told Captain Reed it could happen. So you're gonna look at those fucking pictures and you hear the hammer click. I'm gonna start testing how soundproof my fucking new office is, Elliot.
I always clocked you as a fucking piece of shit, Brock. I never clocked you as a moron, though.
We're gonna go down to this lab, and you're gonna be a good boy. grabs you.
What?
Well, I don't have anything else to take from you. So I don't know. I'll have to get creative. I really thought putting the pins in Charlie would motivate you to come work with us, but
The fuck did you just say?
looks like you were too pussy for that. You thought Charlie got sick on accident? It's real easy. Drop a couple drops in someone's coffee if they're not paying attention. A lot of VP everywhere, Elliot. Needed you. William didn't want to do it. William told me to never mention it again. But William doesn't have the vision we need. He doesn't have the spine. He isn't willing to do what's necessary. Just like you. And that's why people like me, people like Elias Winsborough, even without the titles, run the show. So you're gonna get up. We're gonna walk down to this fucking lab. And you're gonna turn into some super soldier monster, man-eating, soul-sucking beast. And we're gonna let you loose in Europe. And you're gonna hunt down Adolf Hitler. Let's fucking go. And he grabs you by the arm. And he... The address is just finishing up. And as you sort of exit the office... and he turns to his secretary and he's like, don't worry about it, Mrs. Smith. I pressed the button on accident. There's no alarm, nothing to worry about. Dr. Fowler came up and in my surprise, I hit my fancy new button. No, we're gonna head down to the lab. And she goes back to goes back to her work. And most people up here are just still milling. He takes you down. You don't go down the stairs you came up. Actually, you walk all the way across, and there's a catwalk that goes to a catwalk over the lab.
Mm-hmm.
Give me another perception, another wisdom. DC. We'll call it DC 7.
Okay.
And I'll sort of describe generally what you see, and this DC will give you a little bit more. So you come into this lab, and there's 3 or 4 scientists that are working at. What'd you get?
So I got an 8. However, one of my feats for wisdom, it's for insight to check intentions. Can I use that for perception?
The intention is pretty clear.
Okay.
He stated it already. So mm-hmm. 8's good. What you see in this lab is a slowly reforming of the seed as you know it. You see this, it still looks damaged. It looks like, you know that Rosalia and Flynn went to destroy it. They took whatever explosives they could find, and you thought successfully had destroyed it. And what you see is this thing is similar to the egg, or sorry, to the cocoon that was also one of these seeds, right? This one looks like a wooden heart almost, mm-hmm. covered in bark, it has a lot less of the black and the ichor and the like nastiness that it did when you first saw it. But it's like charred, but it looks like things are growing, and like that. It's like the edges of the char is like ashy, and you see these scientists like scraping and gathering stuff off. You see like sets of beakers. You see like a chemical station. You see there's like these. You see those like these cages with rats and bunnies and these different animals, and it looks like they're taking these things and distilling them and testing their effects, and they're trying to do whatever, right? I mean, obviously you don't see all that flurry of activity there, but you can gather by the stuff there, like what was been going on. The last thing you see with the 8, though, these are those Nazi scientists that were in that lab.
Okay, that's so cool, David. That's awesome. Wow.
See, what William didn't want to do either was hire those people who had come so far. Hire is a loose word. These men don't enjoy freedom. They work and they go to their barracks. But he didn't want to use it. Because it matters how you win, Brock. It matters how you do it. It matters to do the right thing. We have a responsibility. We have a fucking responsibility to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I will do whatever it takes to make sure that me and mine can achieve that.
Even if that means siding with the fucking enemy, Brock?
I'm not siding with anybody.
Then what are those people doing here?
They're tools. Resources of information. Take them out back and shoot them myself when they're done with their usefulness. But we need them. Because we need to push further. We need to build on where the Nazis already are. We need to push faster and farther. Just picking up somebody else's work just leaves a cold trail. So again, Dr. Boy, you tell me which one of these spells is the right one. Do whatever the fuck it is you gotta do. Elias said something about blood. Looks like you're already bleeding. And he said you'd know the words. And he puts a gun to your head, pulls the hammer, and says, now do the one thing you've ever been good at. Fucking read. What does Elliot do? There's 4 pictures, 4 separate pages.
Yeah. I would like to use the powers of deduction to get a better glance and a better look at what is on these pages and these photos.
Okay. What is your powers of deduction again?
It's intelligence. It's investigation of any scene.
Okay. So do you want to just do the scene? I'll give you the scene in general. Like to include these things, right? Of sort of what's going on. Give me we'll call it another DC 8. We'll call it a DC 10. There's a lot going on.
Okay. Intelligence?
Yes.
Okie dokie. That's a 10. I rolled 2 2s and 2 3s on my D4s.
Love it. Okay. Shoot. Oh shit. We gotta rewind a little bit. I need 2 sanity checks. The first one is for waking up.
we agreed that it's a D10 I'm starting at instead of a D20, correct?
I thought D12 you're starting at.
Oh, okay,
Was
better.
it was
I
it a
like
D10?
that. Let's say D12.
Let's say D12.
I rolled a 7.
Okay, so you go down to a D10,
Great.
and and then let me get another, and so that maybe explains a little bit of the unhinged nature of stomping into an office. Let me get another one. This
I
one
rolled
is a.
another 7.
I was gonna say this one's gonna be way higher, because this was about the news about Charlie. So now you're at a D8. Um, give me okay. You give me. So you did the intelligence roll now, right?
Yep. Correct.
What did you get on intelligence?
I got the 10.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Okay. So this is what you see. Um, there's these photos, like I said, of different pages, and you haven't really looked at them, but you like as familiar as they look. You would have to really look at these. Like you need to like lock in to do any
Mm-hmm.
real deciphering. This is not in the same language or even in the same style as the other grimoire you've seen, right? As the other book you've seen.
Yeah.
Um, the uh, but they look like they're the real deal. This is it is I should say aesthetically they're in a different style, but it's the same a similar there's like components. It looks like there's like it looks like in the same sort of order of operation style thing, right? You see like a thing
Mm-hmm.
at the top, and what looks like some pictograms too, right? And then the last, sorry, and then the next thing that you see is Brock brought you through a secure door. This you're locked in here. They're also locked in here with you.
Oh boy.
Um, the gun is to your head, so that does give you some options as far as like you don't. That's never been a thing Elliot has done. His physical prowess is not his thing, but
Mm-hmm.
you know people have succeeded at that kind of thing. Um, if it's close, right? That's
Yeah.
why they always taught you. You think back to the about a month ago when you were going through your field training, your quick and dirty field training. They said you want to keep at least 15 feet from you and an armed suspect until they kick away their weapon because reaction time is still slow enough, right? So you know that you have about a third of a second of a window if you wanted to try to smack this gun away. Um, you know that the spell that he is talking about won't work. You are 100% right about that. But you also know that Captain Reed was able to do some really cool stuff like mind control.
Yep.
And that's what you get. So what does Elliot do?
Um, I think I'm gonna hone in on the part of that book that like focuses on that mind control and
Okay,
see if
so
I
you're gonna
can
need to
use it
first,
on
yeah. So you
Brock.
first you're gonna need to try to read these and decipher them.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a DC to first of all sanity check to try to read this.
Jesus Christ. That's a 5.
Okay, so you go down to a D6.
Great.
Now I need a DC, another DC 30 check to read this.
Is that gonna be intelligence?
Yes, intelligence.
Okay. I am burning up my D20, my last D12, and one of my remaining D10s on
Okay.
top of my 4D4s. Oh my fucking god. Yeah, I obliterated it again. I think I got like, hold on, 18, 28, 31, 39. That's a 43 on a 30.
Okay, so the effect that your loss of sanity this time takes,
Mhm.
first of all, you can't read this, even though you passed.
Okay.
You can't. You can't read it in the way I should say that that we understand reading.
Yeah.
As I look at the information, I know the characters represent the sounds. I put the sounds together. The sounds lock in. The sounds with space, and then this sound with this sound with this sound means this, right? And like that's how we process language.
Yeah.
This, yes, you feel something that has already been inside of Elliot. Draw you to one of these pages. And what your loss of sanity actually represents is a loss of control. And what you begin to feel well up inside of you is all the hurt, all the pain, all the goodbyes you never got to say, all the missed opportunities, all the times that you wish you would have been more public with Charlie, all the times that you wish you would have told your dad about him, all the times that you wish that you could have been the man that you always wanted to be. And you can still be proud of who you are, Elliot, and recognize that you could have done more. Recognize that all this inside of you, all this pain from such a young age, all through the years, all the humiliations, the embarrassments, the gun, you've been shot 3 times now. You've seen the person you care about dead by gunshot wound 2 separate times. This pain and loss and embarrassment and envy and frustration all begins to coalesce and build in you, and you feel a hardening of yourself. You now have 0 motes in intelligence.
Okay.
You have 0 motes in charisma. You have 5 motes in dexterity. You have 6 motes in strength, and you have 4 in con.
Oh my god.
What does Elliot go to do?
He goes to rip the gun out of Brock Cannon's fucking hand.
Okay, give me a DC. This is a DC 13. That's our usual high. It's like for normal high amounts of stuff, not god level.
I'm using my
give me a
last D6.
Yeah, give me a DC 13 dex.
16.
Okay. You go to grab the gun. I assume you shoot him
Yeah.
if you're successful. Yeah. You go to grab the gun. You pull it. You go to grab the gun. You pull it. You throw. Yeah, you throw the photos, right? That gives you just a little bit more time. Go to grab the gun, and you don't even think about wanting to. It just happens, and before you know it, there is a small crater where Brock Can's chest used to be. And, excuse me. The gun he has is a service pistol, so it has 15 bullets in the mag, and you empty the clip. And as this blood and viscera spray onto Elliot, and this blood begins to drip down his face, just a little bit enters his mouth. And it tastes good. It tastes really good. Give me a DC 5 sanity check. At disadvantage, because you're not under your own control.
Fucked it up. 2.
D4.
I rolled a 6 on the other one.
And then the last thing I need from you is you have to crit a DC 10 wisdom. I think you have to crit, right? You don't have any more D10s?
No, I have a D10 and I have a D8.
Oh, you have a D... I thought you only had a D8 left. Okay.
Nope, I had a D10 left. Did I lose all my wisdom in this too?
Yeah, you went down to a 1.
Fuck, okay. Would you believe me if I rolled a 9?
What are the last thoughts of Elliot the soul as this vessel no longer becomes his and begins to feast on the body of Brockcan?
I think he thinks of Charlie. I know he thinks of Charlie. And I think he hopes that in any life, and even in like, if there is an afterlife for the both of them, that despite all of this, that Charlie would still think of Elliot fondly and in a positive light, knowing that Elliot kind of succumbed to the madness, and I think he would hope that Charlie would still think of like the person that he always was, despite having to stoop to such low and inhumane methods to gain any sort of righteousness, any sort of justice.
And as Elliot's mind considers this, as it begins to fade, as it is passively and horrifyingly watching this, and it feels like you're being pulled through a tunnel as the what's happening in front of you becomes farther and farther away, right? More and more out of control of your consciousness. You're just being like sucked away, and this light is becoming smaller and smaller. There's a small bit of comfort in Elliot as he realizes that with this last transformation, as grotesque and as brutal and as awful as it is, the feeling that you were too overwhelmed to process that caused you to lose yourself as it became too big to grip, too big for your ego and your conscious to grip, as it swelled, what this spell, what this ritual, what this thing did to you was take all of that pain and all of that suffering, magnify it, and turn it towards revenge. And as the viscera and blood drip off of Elliot's jaw and down his nightdress, as these Nazi scientists who don't have key cards to get out because they are only let out slam at the door, the last thing that the orderlies just outside of it see is one of their faces pressed up against it until it pops like a tomato, bursting through the glass. And they see the face of Dr. Elliot Fowler, ready to get his revenge. And as he stalks down that hall and the alarms begin to blare, that's where we'll leave.